Alright, hey guys, welcome back to Nerd Crave. Today I want to do a special video. I want to introduce my son Zach, who's also a content creator. The reason why we're here together on this video today is because I have recently started playing my first Pokemon game after years of my son Zach just harassing me to play these games. He's a huge fan of Pokemon. I know absolutely nothing about Pokemon. I'm 3 hours into my first game, and I thought we would come on here and just kind of discuss a little bit about Pokemon and, maybe I can learn a little thing or two because, quite frankly, I'm pretty lost. Zach, say hi to everybody.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
So, Zach, what the hell is a Pokemon, really? Like, what fill me in.
So a Pokemon is the animal of the Pokemon world, right? So when you're playing these games, you've got all these creatures. They're all so diverse. You know, there's all these different fish-type Pokemon that go through the rivers. All these bird Pokemon flying through the air, right?
So
that's
they're
the
like
creatures that world is like that goes across the land, right? And they all got their own little powers and whatnot that makes that brings the magic of the Pokemon world to life.
So I'm playing my first game. It's not really the first experience I've had with Pokemon. I played with you, actually, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which you bought for me, trying to get me into it, on the GameCube, but we only played that for about an hour. I don't really have a huge experience with it, and I actually bought from you because you got 2 copies of Pokepark 2, it's like Wonders Beyond or something it's called. On the Wii, so I actually bought your second copy from you, and I played that for an hour or something too, but those games seem vastly different from each other and vastly different from Heartgold. So,
yeah, they are.
Can you give me a little bit of history about Heartgold and the main series? Like, what is it that I'm playing with Heartgold here? Why everybody seems to think that this is a special game? Why is it special?
Yeah, so Heartgold is a remake, actually, of the original Pokemon Gold game, which is the counterpart games. For those of you who don't know, Pokemon games that typically come in counterparts when they release, so Gold comes with Silver. They're pretty compatible like that, so Sword and Shield, Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, those sorts of ideas, right? So Heartgold and Soul Silver are the remakes of Gold and Silver, which is the second generation of games. Those games are so beloved because they were a lot of people's first entries into the series, as well as being the second entry to a series that a lot of people love, with the first games being Red and Blue. Within Gold and Silver 2, they also packed in the entirety of the first region, so not only are you playing a brand new game with Gold and Silver, with all these new Pokemon to explore, the wonder.
You were talking about nostalgia, and can you tell me a little bit about your nostalgia? Like, where did you start in the series? What was your first Pokemon game? And how does that compare to other remakes or things that you've played since?
So it's actually funny, Pokemon Gold was my first Pokemon game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got it from a buddy back at my mom's. I wasn't allowed Pokemon, but I didn't listen. I was a rebellious 10-year-old,
right.
12-year-old, whatever. I was so rebellious playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I got it, and I got my first starter Pokemon, and I was in love with the game from day one. I've been in love with the franchise since then. Eventually, I ended up getting Heartgold as well, not maybe a few years after, but being a kid, it felt like a lifetime later that I finally got it. And that's where the nostalgia was for me, when I'm like, oh, I remember all these towns and these routes. I remember this Pokemon and that Pokemon, and oh man, I remember when I evolved that guy and took down that gym leader and did this and that. That's where the nostalgia lies for me, is getting to use all my old team members and recreating my journeys that I had through these games.
So I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that I had a couple of these side games. I've got the Pokemon XD game, I've got the Pokepark 2 game. I actually picked up a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, I think it's called, on the DS, which I haven't played yet. But can you tell me, for a noob here, what's the difference between the main series games and all of these side games? Like, how do they all play into each other?
So the main series games are all considered more or less in the same universe. There's a whole parallel universe timeline theory that they not really go into in the games, but they sort of have delved into in the past couple generations. But more or less, the main series games all act in the same universe. You go through a region, all the gym leaders, you battle the final champion at the end of the game, all that fun stuff. You get to catch Pokemon and everything. But all the side games, they're all different. They've all got their own gimmicks. The mystery dungeon games, you're going through all these randomly generated dungeons as the Pokemon. You're not playing as a trainer, you're playing as the Pokemon itself.
That'd be cool. So you're actually playing as the Pokemon. Do you get to choose different Pokemon to play, or is it just one character per game?
Both. So you've got, for the mystery dungeon games, you start out as one character that you can sort of choose. And then you get a partner Pokemon, but once you beat the game, you can choose to make any Pokemon in your rescue team the party leader, so then you're technically playing as that Pokemon.
Right, okay. So what would your favorite title be of the main series games?
Of the main series games? So that's sort of a hot topic when it comes to any Pokemon fan, because you've got the remakes, right? With Heartgold and Soul Silver being the most beloved games, but at the same time those are remakes, so you could consider them not considered when it comes to your favorite title. Without not including remakes, I'd have to say my favorite title would be the Black and White generation. That also includes Black 2 and White 2.
Right.
Just because they have such in-depth story and the amount of Pokemon they added in that generation, there was so much to choose from.
That's one. That's one thing I noticed. I'm only 3 hours in, so I'm in no position to judge as of yet. But that's one thing I noticed with Heartgold, is that it's pretty light on story and it's pretty light on exposition. It really doesn't explain itself very well. They just kind of throw you out into the world and say, okay, go catch Pokemon. I'm not really sure where to go, what to do next, and there's not a whole lot of story progression so far.
Well, and that's what a lot of people liked about the original games, was they weren't so story driven. It's very much make your own adventure type idea, especially with Red and Blue. It was just, there are these gym leaders, go find them and beat them.
Yeah, okay.
Do what you want to do, and that's about it. And they carry the same in the second generation. There is a bit more story with the second generation as you get further in, with taking down an evil organization and all that, which is admittedly kind of fun. Especially considering you're supposed to be a 10-year-old as per the game lore. But it's very much build your own adventure, and that's what a lot of people loved about the original generation of games. Once they started adding story, like with Pokemon White, as much as I love the 5th generation for its story, a lot of people found it was almost too much story, too much reading, when they just wanted to get to their Pokemon battles.
Right, okay.
And that's what a lot of people didn't like about Gen 5. And I understand that. But for me, as a story lover, growing up with watching movies with you and whatnot, I really appreciated the story and the effort they put into it with 5th generation games.
So going back to getting into the Pokemon battles, something that's really confused me so far is, I gather there are different types of Pokemon that have sets of attributes that are unique to their type. Like, I've heard you talk about grass type and electric type, and I actually went into a battle not too long ago with a level 6 Geodude. The guy looks like a rock monster or something. And I figured, okay, he looks all muscly, whatever. And I went up against this weird flower thing. It looks like a flower with vines. I don't know what it was.
Bellsprout, are you thinking?
Bellsprout, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I figured, okay, I'm gonna smash this little puke, right? Because he's 3 levels below me. And then he does this vine whip thing and just about kills me in one shot. Can you explain how the whole type system works and how I'm supposed to know which ones are strong against which ones? And
so, because there are in the game you're playing, there's 17 different types.
17.
Currently, there's 18 because in the 6th generation they added the 18th type. So I can't explain everything just because there's so many different type matchups, but there is videos out there. I think there's probably one by, I think it's MNJ TV, who does a type matchup explanation video, which is a wonderful video, and definitely take a look at it. But generally there is a bunch of different matchups, like fire beats grass, grass beats water, water beats fire. That's pretty typical. As in your case with Geodude and Bellsprout, however, Bellsprout is a grass type, Geodude is a rock type. And you'd think, yeah, a rock would be resistant to grass. Well, in the world of Pokemon, grass beats rock. It's the same idea as paper beats rock when in rock, paper, scissors. If you see like a concrete path and it has a crack in it and grass poking out, theoretically that grass was strong enough to poke through the concrete. So,
right. So then tell me this, like I'm starting out, I'm early in the game, I'm only 3 hours in. My Pokemon selection right now is, I've started out with, well now he's upgraded to Quilava or whatever. I've got a Hoot Hoot, a Geodude, a Pidgey, a Metapod, and a Wooper. Now, is that like a well-diversified group of Pokemon, or do I have too many of one type or something?
That's a pretty decent balance for now, especially considering where you are in the game. You've got the fire type Quilava, and usually fire types have that fiery aspects of. A lot of them have fire coming out of them, or they're red, or whatever. Pokemon are designed to almost embody the type that they are in a lot of cases.
Right.
Hoot Hoot is a bird, so it's flying type. It's also very normal to an owl, so it's a normal type, so it's normal flying. What was the bug? Did you say you had Caterpie on your team?
No. What have I got? I've got a Metapod, which is...
Metapod, Metapod is the evolution of Caterpie.
Okay.
So, right, being a bug, it's bug type.
Okay.
A lot of the type matchups you'll have to learn through trial and error, or you can go to a website and learn it. In more current games, they will tell you after a battle, once you've encountered a certain Pokemon, every encounter from then on, it'll tell you if any move you have is super effective against it.
Right.
So, say you go up against that Bellsprout with your Quilava, and it's the first time you see the Bellsprout, nothing happens. You beat it, whatever. But every subsequent battle, if you have, say, Ember, which is a fire type move, it will say, oh, Ember is super effective against Bellsprout because fire is grass.
Yeah.
But that's the more recent games. That won't happen in Heartgold.
So my most recent Pokemon that I caught was a Wooper, and it looks kind of like a little cute little creature. Like what is its abilities? It doesn't really say what type it is or anything. How am I supposed to know?
So Wooper is a water type. I think so you do have the Pokedex, which is a digital encyclopedia.
Yeah, I've been in there.
And it fills out as you catch new Pokemon. It'll fill out more detailed information about each Pokemon.
Right.
And it will tell you in the Pokedex what type that Pokemon is.
Okay.
So if you're ever curious, you can go in there. I believe there's also a stats screen where it will tell you what those. I don't believe I know. I should be saying I know. But it has a stats screen that'll tell you, this is your Wooper, its nickname is this, it is this type, it has these moves, this much experience till its next level up. All that fun stuff, right? But yeah, I believe Wooper is just a water type, but it does evolve into a water ground type, which is an extremely strong type to everything except grass. It has a 4 times weakness to grass because both ground and water are weak to grass.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So, I keep hearing you talk like you've been a content producer a lot longer than I have. You've been doing this Twitch thing for a couple of years at least now. You are always doing. I keep seeing your streams. You're doing this thing called shiny hunting. What is a shiny and what is shiny hunting and why do you do it?
So shinies were introduced in Gold and Silver back in the day because of the Game Boy Color's new color capability. Okay. They wanted to show it off, and so what it is a Pokemon can have an alternate color. All Pokemon have this alternate color. Some of them are barely changed at all. It was all due to an algorithm, and that's more the math side of things. That's not as interesting, but all the colors were swapped for a different color palette. The most famous one is the red Gyarados because you're forced to encounter that through Gold, Silver, Heartgold, Soul Silver. But every other one has a 1 in 8,192 chance of showing up. Okay. So it's akin to winning the lottery in terms of the adrenaline that you feel. Yeah. Okay. And you're not buying anything, and you're just spending your own time. That's the only thing you spend trying to get these shinies. Right. So you'll sit there and do encounter after encounter after encounter. Some of the most famous hunts have gone almost 30,000 encounters before they found the shiny.
Wow.
Before they found any shiny.
Yeah.
They did change the odds. They increased the odds to 1 in 4,096 as of the 6th generation, as well as adding a bunch of different methods. So I think the easiest way to get a shiny right now, at least in the current generation, gives you about 1 in 536 odds.
Really? Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So a shiny Pokemon isn't like a legendary Pokemon. That's not the same thing?
No. Legendary Pokemon can be shiny, and some people may consider shiny Pokemon to be legendary, but in terms of actual game lore, no.
So a shiny Pokemon is just a different color? It doesn't have any attributes special to it or anything?
Yes. Yes, as of now. Back when shininess used to be determined by the individual data values of the Pokemon in Generation 2.
Okay.
Like its attack stats and defense and all that, all its stats, right? So
yeah.
They weren't necessarily better. Sometimes they were a lot worse, actually,
Okay.
because of the specific stats that they needed. But they used to be determined on the stats. Now it's purely its own. Shininess is its own determined stat.
Yeah, okay. So, I think I have a little bit better idea how to carry on now. I mean, the game is fairly easy, other than it doesn't really explain itself very well in terms of where you're supposed to go.
Always
so you're
just go forward.
You're just gonna explore, like, just follow the road and see where it leads you, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, thanks for coming on tonight. I'd really love to have you back on my channel again, and I'd love to come and do some stuff with you, someday in a Twitch stream or on one of your YouTube videos. So where can people find you on the web?
So Twitch is my primary source of content right now. So my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Canadian Cafe. So over there, I'm known as Kaz. And when I do actually end up getting to my own YouTube videos, I will be partaking there as Kaz. It's just my own way of handling myself on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, it's a lot of fun. We just have a lot of good times drinking our coffee, right?
Yeah.
So
I've been in your Discord and in your Twitch stream quite a few times, and it seems like you have a good time with the people that are following you. So, did you have any questions or comments for me before we call it a night here?
Just have fun. Don't stress too much about the type matchups and everything. All the information's out on the web somewhere. It's real easy to find. I mean, it's a lot more fun to figure it out for yourself, but if you're really having a hard time, it's not a big deal. There are plenty more Pokemon out there. Just have fun, love your team, and just enjoy the journey.
Cool. All right, thanks, man. We'll get together on the next one. All right, guys, stay classy.